I am back and I am going to be talking about contouring today. So that was one of my good friends' requests that she wanted to know about. So today I decided to spend a little time, do some makeup, but I haven't done any contouring yet. So depending on what features you're trying to show on your face, either emphasize or kind of minimize as well, you can actually do that with contouring. The basic idea of knowing where you want to put that color. Find the cheekbone you can actually feel on your face. So right here, there's bone. Then right there, I can feel there's no longer bone. So softer part of my face. And then if you go farther down, you can feel the jaw again. So really placing that color in that space between is going to get you more of the sucked in look. So how I always start, before I put any of like the contour colors on my face, I actually apply a little bit of loose setting powder just to kind of prevent that darker color from getting like really set onto my skin without being able to blend it. I like to be able to blend out. Right now I'm actually using the Too Faced Born This Way ethereal setting powder. It's just the light one. I think they have like 3 colors. So I'm gonna place that on my face. Next is a contouring palette. So this is the Park Avenue Princess contour palette. It's the chisel palette. So in here, you're gonna see a bunch of different colors. You've got your light colors and it gets darker and darker and darker. To be really honest, typically most people aren't going to use every single color, nor should you necessarily use every color in the contour kit. I tend to stick mostly between this shade, this one, and sometimes a little of that. These 3 are what I use mostly for contouring, and then I mix these in to actually make it a little lighter. I don't personally use these for highlighting, although you could use that for highlighting if you want more of a matte look. So it would create a little bit of light on your face without having the shimmer. I like shimmer, I like glitter, so I just use shimmer. That being said, so I'm gonna start with a smaller brush like this. So this is actually like a basic blush brush. I think it's from Clinique. I've had it for many, many years and I really like it. But I'm actually using this one because the bristles are pretty loose. So it's gonna apply that color a little bit more softly. I'm gonna start by tapping my brush into Princess Cut. And then I'm also tapping into Enhance, which is that lighter shade. So I don't want to go too dark with this color, so I'm mixing the 2. Alright, so remember I was saying I like to apply color underneath my cheekbone, above my jawbone, so in this little space. So I'm actually going to start in the back of my face because I want most color out here and then to blend in as I go into my face. If you start right here on your cheek, it can be a little too harsh, and eyes are really smart, so you notice when something doesn't look natural. So if you start right here and the most dark color gets kind of stuck right there, it's really noticeable and it's pretty hard to blend out that way too. So I tend to start farther back and then work inward. So naturally, by doing like even a really subtle circular motion like this, the color is going to kind of catch naturally where I have a little bit of a natural cheekbone. Okay, I'm going into Princess Cut again, just that color alone. So I like to start with a little bit of color and then add more as needed. If you start really dark, it's harder to lighten the shade than it is to just add more. Okay, so my first little layer of Princess Cut, I'm going on with a little bit more because I like a dramatic, bold contour. So I also tend to place contour colors on my forehead. I don't have a giant forehead, but I do have a little extra space there. So using a contour color is going to, one, make it look a little bit more natural when there's a dark shade here. Kind of balances a little bit. And also, I don't mind making my forehead look just a little smaller, but I don't know how much smaller it really looks. I like how it looks when I contour my forehead and my cheeks. So many people don't actually go as far in with a contour as I do. I like how it looks on my face when I go in a little bit further. A lot of times you can kind of divide your face into threes. So for me, it would pretty much be right through like the middle of my eye on each side. So you'd have a third here, third in the middle, third on the outside. You can either choose, like on me, I go right up to that point, or you could choose like outside of the eye is kind of as far as most people would go. I go a little further in because I think it makes my cheeks look a little bit more angled. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply Princess Cut on the other side now also. So rather than just doing like a straight line, you notice I'm still doing those like circular motions. Occasionally I do add a little sweeping like straight line in there because I don't mind applying that extra color, but when you do that circular motion, it blends the color out a little bit, and I am letting the brush work for me. I'm not like grinding it on my skin. I'm adding a little bit of bronzer to my chin, or the contour color. I'm also, what I always do is I always do apply color right at the base of my cheek as well. It just kind of defines my jaw a little bit more. Alright, so now that I've applied that first like contour color, really, for most people, you can really go out by just using like a bronzer, like a subtle bronzer. Try and choose one that is not like 10 shades darker than your skin. If you go just like a few shades darker than your natural skin tone, you'll add a little bit of a bronzing effect without going overboard. If you have a bronzer that you've gotten and you feel like it's too dark, try mixing it with a little bit of a pressed like face powder that you have in your color. And that might actually make the color subtle enough where it is easier for you to use and blend. I'm gonna go through and add like a bronzer color. So in this chisel palette, it is actually Carrot is the one that I tend to use the most. It has a little shimmer in it as well. So we're gonna go in again with the back of my face. And then blending forward. And again, you can see I come pretty far up. Probably don't have to. I like to. Ultimately, the goal with makeup, in my opinion, is to create a look that you like, that makes you feel confident and makes you feel good. You don't have to emphasize any features if you don't want to. You can create new shapes, new colors, new anything you want on your face. If it makes you feel good, do that. But for myself, I do like to create a little bit more cheekbone, and I like to bring my contour color forward a little farther than probably most people would recommend, but it feels good on me, so I keep doing it. I'm on the side, I'm gonna continue. Same thing. So this is the Carrot color. It's really like a gold shimmer. I like it. Now I'm actually gonna contour my nose. I don't probably have to contour my nose. I do, just to make it look a little bit thinner, and also I think that it makes my face look more balanced when color is evenly distributed throughout my face. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of Princess Cut and the color Enhance from the Chiseled palette, again from Tarte. And I'm using this Morphe M164 brush. It's like a little teeny contour brush. I like it. And I find it really handy for contouring my nose, so this is what I started using recently. So there's really no secret to contouring your nose. on like where you should place it, other than what creates the look and like the thickness of the of your nose that you're going for. I really just try and keep my face symmetrical, so I kind of stay along my natural face lines. I might blend in just a little bit, and then, or I might apply the color just in a little bit further so it makes my nose look a little bit slimmer, but I'm not really trying to change my face a whole lot. So one thing to know when you are contouring your nose, you can actually make your face or your nose look crooked. So you have to be a little careful with nose contouring, because if you start making some weird lines, your nose will look off. If you make a line right in the middle, I mean, it'll look like you have a dent in your nose. Maybe that's the look you're going for. If so, cool, keep doing it. Otherwise, if that's not the look you're going for and you're trying to maybe make your nose look slimmer or something like that, just kind of keep that in mind. If you want to know if your lines are straight, you can always just apply like a brush to the side of your nose. Granted, that would be if you haven't, like, if you don't have like a broken nose or a crooked nose to begin with. If you do, then you'll probably just have to eyeball it and apply color to create a balanced look. If it's more, if your nose is maybe a little bit crooked, you could add a little bit more color on one side to kind of create balance and create the illusion that your nose is kind of pushed back the other way a little bit. I wouldn't go crazy with that. For everyday makeup, that's probably not going to be like the best use of time, unless you just like doing it. And if that's the case, do it. So I've kind of always felt that in beauty, the best thing about beauty is that everybody looks different. And those differences in your face are actually what make you you and make you unique. So I've always really encouraged embracing your face and what it is and enhancing your features, or making them stand out, just to celebrate your own natural beauty. I'm all about color and I'm super about glitter. So I tend to wear like really bright shadows or really glittery anythings. Not because it looks natural, just because I like those colors. But I do really encourage, you know, finding what you like about yourself and then enhancing it, showing that off. So if I do a line on my nose, or if I do nose contouring like this, I don't just make one line, I then blend outward. So I don't want like a harsh, strange nose line. Blend outwards. Like that. And just for the fun of it, I am going to make this contour real dramatic here. So this is one of those times I'm going to go into a darker color. I don't use this super often. Since I have such a smoky eye going on, I feel like I can really go all the way with a contour color. So I'm going to use Angle. I will admit, I hardly ever use Crown, that super dark color. It's just a little too dark for me. So yeah, if I use that one, I always mix it with one of these lighter shades. So this contour is deep, so I think it looks really good on camera. In person, it's a little extra. I do totally do this sometimes just because I want to and I like it. But for most people, this would be a little extreme for everyday wear. So just know what you're looking for. If you want a little bit of sculpting to your face, just applying that one like softer shade of bronzer in that circular motion is going to create that dimension for you But if you're trying to create like more deep chiseled features, then you're gonna go in with more makeup like this. And it might get a little, it's definitely gonna get more makeup-y. The more contour you apply, the more noticeable it is, especially in person. So this is not a natural look on anyone. Okay, so now that I have done contouring, I do still go in. This is my same brush I used to apply powder. I like to kind of go in and actually blend out any lines that there might be. So any edges of my contour I will blend out at this point. I didn't apply any more powder onto this brush. Just want to make sure that everything is smooth. Okay. Now I'm gonna do a little bit of blush. So my favorite blush color, probably for the last like year, has been this Benefit blush called California. It's a peachy color, and on me, I just think it looks super natural. So where I applied my contour, mostly underneath my jaw, or underneath my cheekbone, so right through here, I now apply my blush right on the kind of ball of my cheek. And I apply it upwards too. I don't just put it right here. I really don't like to go all the way in here. I like to stay on this point and farther out. Some color always kind of reaches in a little bit, but if I apply color right in the middle of my face there, it's gonna make my face look really red. So and I do pull my blush up as well. Okay. And now I'm going to apply a little bit of highlighter just because I think that kind of finishes off a look. So today I go with a really subtle highlighter. To be really honest, I don't oh, good, the color's on here. So I've put all of my like Anastasia highlighters into like a big Z palette, and I wasn't sure that the names were on the back because I was like, I don't know which one this is, but I'm gonna use it. The name is on the back. So it's from Anastasia Beverly Hills, one of the glow kits, and it is called Bubbly. So it's pretty subtle bronze color, peachy gold, I don't know. I like it though. So highlighter goes on the top of the cheekbone. I also do apply a little bit of highlighter right underneath my contour. So I have really noticeable pores. I've always had pretty oily skin, and I grew up with a lot of breakout too, so my pores are pretty enlarged. When I put highlighter right in here, it becomes very noticeable. My pores become really noticeable. It really doesn't bother me at this point in my life. Like, I'm pretty confident with my skills. Like, my skin is the way it is. My skincare that I use now really helps. You can use primers that kind of fill that in extra. I don't do a lot of that anymore, but I do use highlighter. I try to keep it further out because I think it doesn't emphasize my pores as much, but every now and then something will get further in. I do, however, put highlighter on my nose just to kind of emphasize that center of my face. I do not put any highlighter here. So I have naturally more oily skin. I get really shiny right through here really naturally anyway, so putting a highlighter there for me is not necessary. I will put it on the outside of my cheek, and then above my brow. Actually, more often I'll usually take it and apply it right underneath my brow. Like that. I always apply highlighter on my cupid's bow right there, because it kind of makes my lips look fuller. I have pretty naturally full lips anyways, but that's just something I do. And when I was doing makeup on other people, that was kind of a tip I always put on others as well. So, alright. So I also put that highlighter underneath. I feel like by doing those different steps, so starting with a softer contour color, and then applying a slightly darker one, like then I use a bronzer actually typically. So the contour color is going to be a little bit more cool. The bronzer has a little bit more warmth to it. And then I kind of finish off with a deeper contour color if I really want to make my features pop more. And that darkest color I use really sparingly in comparison with any of the other shades. And then I still use blush because that gives a really natural life to the skin when you apply a little bit of blush. You don't have to do that. A lot of people are really just comfortable putting some bronze, you know, the bronzer does enough for them, or they feel good with that. I always wear a blush because I like how it looks. And I pretty much always use highlighter as well for the same reason. I like how it looks, and it brightens skin, and it's glittery, and I like everything glittery. So ultimately that is how I contour, and that's really how I recommend contouring for anybody. And then it might take a little bit of practice deciding how far in you want to go. If you're just starting out, rather than coming all the way into like here like I do, you might want to start by just staying in the outer third of your face, because you can create some dimension without really going overboard. And then if you want to add more, you can always blend inward, but starting further out is a really good tip for anyone who's starting out. So yeah, you can see this way and that way, and my nose, a little contouring there. Ultimately, I try and create balance. So that is my tutorial, I guess, on contouring. If you have questions, or if you want me to explain something else or show you in a different way, I would be happy to. Any questions you have, let me know. Any comments, let me know. If you have favorite products that you love to use for doing your contour, doing your makeup, anything in general, just let me know. I'll be happy to hear it. And hopefully I will see all my friends again soon. All right.